All right, this is something you need to massively understand before you apply to the Chase business credit cards, and for good reason. I have some explanations that I think you should definitely think about. And there is a big reason, of course, why people want to utilize Chase in their business credit cards. But maybe it's good to apply to first just one card and then apply to the next card maybe a year, year and a half, 2 years later, and take advantage of your relationship with them. So first of all, let's talk about it because I have had some friends who have ran into some situations. First of all, it's going to be involved with balance transferring off of or on to the Chase credit cards. Now, why is that important? First off, a lot of people will try to balance transfer on or off these cards to either take bad investments that are now running up or about to hit APR on other cards and then bring them onto a new 0% card. Or maybe their investment or what they planned on initially investing in or utilizing the card for didn't pan out or they haven't made their money back and they want to balance transfer it off of the card. So that is something to think about, and I'm going to explain that later. But essentially, first off, a lot of people love Chase for a good reason. They have an amazing reward system. They have a great relationship in terms of providing high limits, especially on the business cards. And they have the business relationship managers that you can work with to get higher credit limits. Now, this is what I want to put into the foresight because I don't see anyone actually talking about this, mainly because the funding companies, these people that charge you 10, 20% off getting you money from the banks and getting you applications done. Yes, they have a skill set and they know what goes on and they have relationships that are important that can help you get higher limits. Absolutely. But if you get a 50, 60, 70K limit, that's 5, 10, 12 grand if they're taking 10, 20% from you that you have to pay them. They make a lot of money off of you for this. So this is what I want to in front of you just so you understand. So first off, Chase actually has, they updated it a couple years ago in their terms of the Business Unlimited and the Business Cash that this account may not be eligible for balance transfers, right? May not be eligible for balance transfers. That's really important to understand. The situation would be this. Let's say you put $20,000 into an investment and you didn't make any money back. And in that 12 months, you didn't make any money back. So now you have $20,000 sitting on that card. So if that happens to you and you are not eligible for balance transfers and that card is not eligible for balance transfers, now you have to apply to other cards and hopefully you can get accepted other cards by still having a good, solid personal credit report. But then you have to get all stingy. You have to get all weird to then try to liquidate those cards to then pay off that card because you have no ability to actually transfer the balance off of the Chase card. So what a lot of people do is because they can get 30, 40, $50,000 on one card, they'll apply to both of these Chase credit cards at once. And then if their investment goes sour, all of a sudden they're stuck with 50 to 100 grand that they cannot transfer off of. They're either going to have to take out, personal loans or different business loans or other loans that already have acquired interest or payments applied to them to then pay off that card. Or they're going to have to get all stingy and all weird and do a bunch of crazy manufactured spending, a bunch of crazy liquidation methods, which can hurt your business, which can end up putting you in fraud situations because a lot of people don't teach the right stuff. It can end up putting you in double taxation and it can put you in a bad situation. So what I want to say, what I want to make aware to you about these Chase cards is, yes, Chase is a fantastic bank. Yes, they have great products. Yes, they do provide high limits. But when you're initially starting out with Chase, I highly recommend that you apply to one card initially instead of both of them if you feel confident in the way that you want to use the money for, whether it's scaling your business, growing your business, buying more product, or if you're initially starting out, it's investing in yourself and then you are the only reason that you didn't get your money back, putting it into something that can eventually cash flow. Because if you waste both of those and then you get put in a bad situation or you make a bad decision, then you are in a situation that is harder to get out of because you cannot transfer or balance transfer those balances to other cards. You're stuck doing stingy stuff that could get you in trouble and get you in a bad situation. And it takes time if you were to do all that stuff too. It can't just happen overnight. So it puts you on, a timetable that just isn't going to put you in a good situation. So for one, I would say make sure that you just apply to one card, initially build that relationship with Chase, understand whether you can actually balance transfer it out. Speak to a relationship manager, speak to Chase before applying to these cards and understand how and when and what goes into your account being eligible. The reason why I say this is I've actually had a couple of friends instances where they've tried to balance transfer off of it and it actually went onto one of their personal cards. Luckily, they have cash flowing businesses. So they were like, oh crap, I'll just pay this off. But you could be stuck in a situation where you don't have the money to pay that off. And now you're stuck with paying interest on a personal card, affecting your utilization, having issues with the balance transfer problem. And I've seen people being denied with the balance transfers on the Chase side as well. So you don't know whether your account is going to be eligible. The bank holds all those rules. They hold all that weight on you. So a situation I want to say is when you have created an investment or when you have created a cash flowing business or when you have scaled your business where you have money in and if that happens you can still pay it off, then you want to apply with a second Chase card or for the Chase cards. Take advantage of the high limits because you will have much more of an advantage to utilize those limits in a good place and you won't be stuck in a situation where you are strapped for cash. You already have the cash coming in. Then you can take advantage of the 50K, 60K, 75K limits because you have money coming in from cash flowing investments, from cash flowing business, right? From those opportunities. The problem I see is people that are trying to get access to business credit. They want to utilize Chase because they give big limits. It's a loaded gun that they don't know how to use yet. So if you give someone $40,000 and they squander it, now they're in a tougher situation. They're in a tougher reality because they can't utilize some of the benefits like a balance transfer to then help themselves out for another 12, 18 months to pay that off. So this is really what I want to stress is make sure you're methodical when you are applying to Chase cards because of this scenario, because they kind of changed their terms a couple of years ago and that you may not be aware of that. So take advantage of that information. Utilize the Chase cards when you have proper sound investments in cash flow coming in so that you can then utilize the higher limits that they give out to us as business owners and sole proprietors. So that is what I wanted to say. No one really talks about this. And I think it's very apparent because a lot of business owners who are getting access to business credit, 80 to 90% of them are just starting out. Now, the 10 to 20% of business owners who are looking at ways to scale and grow their business through access to capital, yes, they can utilize that. But I want to make sure that the individuals who are just getting started in entrepreneurship and business credit still have a good mind frame and understanding of how to use it. And if you put them in the right investments, not passive income, that's how people get screwed. When you get hard eyes over passive income and you put your money into that, that's when you lose your money and you get in these tough situations. So this is exactly what I want to talk to you guys about, which is be aware of some of the terms when it comes to the credit cards, especially Chase business credit cards, so that you're not putting yourself in a situation that's going to be tough to get out of. Utilize their relationship, utilize their ability to hand out money at high amounts when you can pay it back, right? When you can get high limits that make sense when you have cash flow investments coming in. That is the sauce on the Chase business credit cards, the terms, and how you should think about working with them when you're getting into business credit. Hopefully you guys found that valuable because I don't see many people talking about that. And I don't want you guys to, losing 10, 15 grand. That is the sauce. That is the information. Take with it what you have. Let me know if you've run into issues. If you have any questions about that, if you've heard of other people doing that, if that is valuable to you, drop it in the comments, hit a like, hit the subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Talk soon. Love you. Peace.